Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. I realized I probably clap my hands at the beginning of each of these Monday lives, and apologies, I don't mean to do that. I'm just so excited to connect with you and talk with you about different things. I hope you had a fantastic Teacher Appreciation Week last week. I also hope you had a wonderful weekend off and that you feel rested and rejuvenated. And for any of our mamas out there, mamas by birth, mamas by adoption, mamas by marriage, mamas to each other's friends and to your nieces and nephews, to our grandmamas, to all of our mothers in the various different capacities that are out there in society contributing so much, I hope you had a good Sunday as well. With that, I would love to chat a little bit about how do we actually make our graphs and have our students make their graphs in different pieces like that. This is one of the pieces that I find can get the gnarliest and trickiest and comes with a lot of we're going, then we take this, huge detour, side swipe, whatever analogy that we want to use. It can get really tricky having our students feel like they can be successful with graphs without us feeling like we need to hand hold every step of the way. And don't get me wrong, when they're novices, when they're learning how to make their graphs for that first time, that hand holding totally makes sense. It's really understandable. If we want them to learn a new skill, we need to have it broken down into very small steps and sort of walk them through. But where I often get questions and where I'd love to connect, chat about today is okay, so they have in theory learned it before. So we're not at the very beginning of this process of working with and learning how to make graphs. We're in that murky middle gray area where they haven't yet totally mastered it, that you can give them a data set and they can run with it and they can make their own graphs. They're in that sort of in-between space. And what can we do there? And specifically, I want to kind of bring up this tricky thing of Google Sheets there are so many benefits, and it is a program that is in so many of our classrooms. And for those that do not have Google Sheets, many of the rest of us have Excel, and functionality is pretty similar across Google Sheets and Excel. So I understand that there are differences. Obviously, they are different companies. They have different things that they have prioritized. They have pushed through. These are spreadsheet programs that, is best to my knowledge from talking to folks at these different companies, are really built for spreadsheet use, data sort of crunching, numbers, statistical analysis at a corporate company level. And they have realized, oh wait, this is a workforce ready skill. So we should create opportunities for our learners in the K-12 pipeline to also have this. We should support our teachers in the K-12 progression as our students are going through their learning, that they too can use this resource. And I just bring that up from the perspective of awesome. It is in our classrooms and it is there, and we should use it and we should leverage it for what it is. And we are not the intended audience of either of these programs, Google Sheets or Excel. We being K-12 education system. Does that mean we can't use them? Gosh, no. We absolutely should use them. We've got it. Use it. Leverage it for what it is good at and what we can use it for. But the question comes in so when and how? And so I want to share some ideas that with you all. Let's see. Okay. So if I click over, let me click over to this window. Can you all see that? Yes, great. Okay. So what we've got going on here is a data set on various different mammals. And so various different mammals, there are, 27 different mammals, from the big brown bat to the bottlenose dolphin to the cheetah, super similar in what they are, but that's great. There's some great variety in this mammal data set. Then we also have a bunch of other information. We have characteristics, we have attributes, we have variables about these mammals. So we know the order that it's from, and then we have different information, sort of its lifespan. Let me look over here. I would imagine our lifespan that we are looking at is sort of, yes, it is numeric. That's not actually telling me what I was hoping for. I would imagine this is, right, our average lifespan, our average height, the average mass of, say, the African elephant, how many hours of sleep, its top speed, what habitat it lives in, and what diet it has. So this is quite a big data set in the scheme of many of our data sets that we often see in elementary, middle, or early high school. Though I do want to say it is a size of a data set that all of our students from upper elementary can actually look at and make sense of, depending on how we are engaging them with the data and they are working through it. I also brought in this data set because it's got some great, it has numeric variables and it has categorical variables. So we've got some great things. So let's say we are interested in looking at the lifespan of our different mammals. So we're in here in Google Sheets. So first, let me pause. Like, great use of Google Sheets. We're using it in its spreadsheet capacity. We are using it for its tables. If we wanted, we could add in formulas and design things around different summary statistics or things like that. These are great uses of Google Sheets. Let's sort of think about using Google Sheets as helping us look at the lifespan of different mammals. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to make the chart as then, man, this is sort of like, this has created this funny thing. I mean, a scatter plot kind of works. Let me look in this chart editor, which I always forget and call the chart wizard. Seems like they rename it constantly. So maybe a histogram would work of like generally how many mammals are we seeing, but then we lose the ability to look at any individual mammal. Okay, so let me go back to the scatter chart, because then if I look at an individual point, what's that going to bring up? Then it actually, it kind of makes it hard to figure out, well, which mammal is that? Let me scroll over so you can see all of these different pieces that I'm looking at the same time. Let me go back to customize setup. Are there other graph types that might help us? Maybe not. I don't know. I'm going to stick with the scatter chart here. But then I have to be honest, I'm sort of left with a like, well, what's on our horizontal axis? I get that lifespan is here and I can kind of start to look across to see the different mammals and things like that. This is where it gets a little tricky. Now, if I wanted to look at, say, lifespan, can I do this? Lifespan and mass at the same time. And insert a chart for here. We've got two numeric variables. Okay. So now we've got a scatter plot here. We could fit the line to it, all of those different things if we wanted. And that's great, but that's great for our older learners. Not so much for our younger learners making sense of it. What if I wanted to look at, say, lifespan by habitat? Do mammals that live on land live longer than they do in the water? So then we're like, well, what is this actually telling me? And we can come in here and we're labeling by habitat. Maybe we want actually the series by habitat. No, that's not what we want. We're looking at things. So I'll just say we get to this point where it starts to get a little bit tricky. And so what I want to share is that is, if you're facing things like this, where you've got a data set, it is organized really well into Google Sheets. You've got all the data here. There are not units embedded within the cells, so that you should be able to plot it with data points. And you're running into some of these hiccups. Welcome to, this is a spreadsheet program that has graphing functionality is what I was trying to say, as opposed to a graphing program. And I just want to quickly share out, these are the exact same data. In fact, I pulled the data for here from the CodeApp pre-populated example. And let's see if we were going to try to recreate those graphs that we were just looking at. So here, let's recreate our lifespan. Let me put it over here on the y-axis so it looks similar to what we had here in Google Sheets. So we've got, this is our Google Sheets way of looking at lifespan. And this is what the CodeApp feature will help us look for lifespan. For our elementary teachers, you might notice that this is our line plot. This helps us get a sense of kind of what we had with that histogram in Google Sheets, but we also get this great functionality of we can be like, oh, that's the donkey. Who knew? Okay, let's say we want to make, we want to recreate the, and thanks for bearing with me because it's going a little bit longer, but I just get so excited about thinking about making graphs. And what if we want to look at mass and lifespan? Okay, so, and let me try to recreate what we've created here. So we've got mass on the Y, and we've got lifespan on the X. Thinking about, oh, great, we can look at it, similar functionality. So for our older, line plots, things like this for our younger learners, great in a graphing program, like straight out of the bat. We have functionality. We can add our fits and different things onto this, do our calculations. We can also add in rows. Okay, last one. And then I swear I've got just one more thing to share. This was a long Monday data bite, but I just so excited. What if this, remember we were trying to look at lifespan by categorical variable. So I'm going to pull in lifespan, and then I'm going to pull in habitat. So here I am showcasing habitat by color. I could also pull it here, and we could look at the different, break it out by the different habitats. Then it really jumps out to me that in this data set, we only have one mammal that lives on both land and water, and we only have 2 water mammals. So we can do some different analyses. We can jump into it a little bit quicker when we're leveraging these graphing programs. Now, CodeApp is just one of many graphing programs. We here at Dataspire, we are program agnostic. And so I am in no way suggesting that CodeApp is the way you need to go. I just wanted to showcase it because CodeApp is free. There are a range of other great ways that we can be exploring our data in graphing programs. Don't take these pricings at face value. That's what they were a little bit ago when I looked, but we try to kind of put our benefits and limitations of these different graph types, because the reality is there's no perfect graph type. There's no perfect graphing program. Google Sheets and Excel have graphing functionality in them. We can totally use them and we can leverage them, and we just need to accept that grain of salt that sometimes it's a little bit awkward and it's a little bit tricky to do it. There are a growing suite of options, and that list I just showed is not actually in top, all of the options out there that we could consider, and they work really well in different situations. I wish there was the silver bullet and it did everything for everyone, but you know what? Then it actually wouldn't do anything for anyone if one program did it all. That's actually what we run into with Google Sheets and Excel. That's why we hit these hiccups. Okay, so this was a lot, but I just wanted to kind of get in and be like, if you're struggling with Google Sheets, yes, it is not just you, it is a reality. And I want to do a little bit of showcasing of there are graphing programs. CodeApp is a free one that is out there. Data Classroom, Tuva, other things, Desmos, Tinker Plots. There are other things out there that for different use cases could be really beneficial for your learners in terms of making their graphs, interacting with the data and pieces like that. And dun, 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 we made it to Monday. So I have this big announcement that I've been hitting up for a while. We have been working for the last many months, pulling some awesome things together. And I am so excited to share some of those, build off of what we were talking about here on different things that we are working on. That next week, oh my gosh, already next week, I can sort of hardly believe it. Next week, we will be hosting a series of webinars because life's in session, y'all, and all of our calendars are different. So it's the same content. It's 4 steps to graph like a pro and transform your teaching. We would love for you to be there. It is free. We are just so excited to share out more resources and be in a container together where we can share ideas and communicate back and forth a little bit more than we can do on these lives with feedbacks and commenting and sending us emails at support@dataspire.org. So 4 steps to graph like a pro and transform your teaching. Next Tuesday and Wednesday, register, jump in, come join us. We are so excited to share these additional strategies and other resources around graphing and helping our students really get graphing. So thank you for your patience. This data bite went long. Amy's going to laugh at me. Amy's our amazing person on the team who helps with all of our videos and all of the different pieces and customer care and things like that. We are so excited to see you there. I will put the link for the webinar to register, grab your spot, different days, same content, pick the day and time that works best for you. We will see you there. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful week and enjoy playing with data with your students. I promise it can be fun. And again, thank you so much for all that you do.